Hi, this is my 16th lecture in the subject PDE and integral equations. Uh, this is the third part of the topic first order nonlinear PDE. In the case of first order quasi-linear PDE, we discussed the transversality condition. A similar condition is there in the case of first order nonlinear PDE, which is called a generalized transversality condition. So we have the definition of the generalized transversality condition. Consider the Cauchy problem f of x, y, u, p, q equal to 0, x equal to, with the initial condition x equal to x naught of s, y equal to y naught of s, u equal to u naught of s. So consider this Cauchy problem. Let a point capital P naught is equal to x naught of s naught, y naught of s naught, u naught of s naught, p naught of s naught, q naught of s naught. Satisfies the compatibility condition. Satisfy the compatibility condition f of p naught equal to 0 and u naught dash of s naught is equal to p naught of s naught into x naught dash of s plus q naught of s naught into y naught dash of s naught. That the point is not. Okay. That is, let p naught be a point which is x naught of s naught, y naught of s naught, u naught of s naught, p naught of s naught, q naught of s naught satisfies the compatibility condition. That is, this point satisfies this given differential equation, that is f of x, y, u, p, q equal to 0, and u naught dash of s naught is equal to this differential condition, u naught dash of s naught equal to p naught of s naught into x naught dash of s naught plus q naught of s naught into y naught dash of s naught. So we have this point P naught satisfying these two conditions. Now in addition, if we have one more condition, x naught dash of s naught into fq of capital P naught minus y naught dash of s naught into fp of capital P naught is not equal to 0, numbered as 4. Okay. In addition to this condition, this compatibility condition, if this is also satisfied, this is satisfied, then we can say that the Cauchy problem, this 1 comma 2 satisfies the generalized transversality condition at the point P naught. So we have a point P naught which is we have the initial curves, this x naught, y naught, u naught, but we don't have the initial points of p and q. So let this point be satisfied the compatibility condition f of p naught equal to 0, and this condition, this differential condition, u naught dash s naught is equal to p naught dash p naught s naught into x naught dash of s naught plus q naught s naught into y naught dash of s naught. If in addition this condition is also satisfied, then that means at the point P naught, this condition is satisfied, x naught dash at s naught, fq at P naught minus y naught dash at s naught, fp at P naught is not equal to 0. Then if it is also satisfied, then we can say that the Cauchy problem 1 and 2 satisfies the generalized transversality condition. Then we can say that the Cauchy problem 1 comma 2 satisfies the generalized transversality condition at the point P naught. Okay. Next, we have a theorem. Consider the Cauchy problem 1 and 2. That is, we have this is the Cauchy problem 1 and 2, f of x, y, u, p, q equals 0, and the initial conditions. And we have the number 4 is the transversality condition. Okay, and 3 and 4 is the transversality condition. So we have the theorem. Consider the Cauchy problem 1 and 2. Assume that the generalized transversality condition 3 and 4 holds at a point P naught. Okay, then there exists an epsilon greater than 0 and a unique solution x of ts, y of ts, u of t comma s, p of t comma s, q of ts for the Cauchy problem, which is defined for the interval mod s minus s naught plus mod t is less than epsilon. Moreover, the parametric representation defines a smooth integral surface u equal to u of xy. That means uh, for the Cauchy problem 1 and 2, if the generalized transversality condition 3 and 4 holds at the point P naught, that is P naught is the initial conditions for x, y, u, p and q, right? Then there exists epsilon greater than 0 and a unique solution, that is there exists a unique solution x, y, u, p, q in parametric form for the Cauchy problem. So that is the theorem says that the Cauchy problem has a unique solution only if the transversality condition is satisfied at the point P naught. Okay. Also, moreover, the parametric representation defines a smooth integral surface u equal to u of xy. That means this is the parametric representation of the integral surface. So this defines a smooth integral surface u equal to u of xy. That means we can eliminate from this we can eliminate t and s to obtain an implicit an explicit integral surface. Integral surface in the form of an explicit function u equal to u of xy. Okay. Now let's move on to the proof. So we have the given Cauchy problem as f of x, y, u, p, q equal to 0 with x equal to x naught of s, y equal to y naught of s, u equal to u naught of s. Okay. In the previous lectures, we found the characteristic equation corresponding to the nonlinear PDE. We have the characteristic equation corresponding to the nonlinear PDE as the characteristic equations corresponding to one is given by what? Xt equal to fp, yt equal to fq, ut is equal to pfp plus qfq, small pt is equal to minus fx minus p into fu, and the last one is qt is equal to minus fy minus q into fu, right? So we have these characteristic equations for this nonlinear PDF. Now so but this Cauchy problem already given the initial conditions for x, y and u. So we have the giving the initial conditions for given the initial conditions for x, y, u is already provided by the Cauchy problem, which are we have x naught of x naught x equal to x naught of s, y equal to y naught of s, and u equal to u naught of s. So we have the three conditions that u x of 0 comma s is equal to x naught of s, y of 0 comma s is equal to y naught of s, and u of 0 s is equal to u naught of s. Okay, so let we can number this as number 5. Okay, so we have given these three conditions for x, y and u. Now we have to find the initial condition for p and s. Now we have to find or obtain the initial conditions for p of p comma s and q, q of p comma s. So we have to find the initial conditions for p and q. Okay, that is we have to find, that is to find p naught of or p of 0 comma s, p of 0 comma s, that is p naught of s and q of 0 comma s, which is equal to q naught of s. So we have to obtain these two conditions. Also we have to find the integral surface of the given Cauchy problem. So clearly we have, clearly at each point s, p naught of s and q naught of s must satisfy the differential condition u naught dash of s is equal to p naught of s into q naught of x naught dash of s plus q naught of s into y naught dash of s and the PD itself, and the PD itself, that is f of x naught of s, y naught of s, u naught of s, p naught of s, q naught of s is equal to 0. Number it as 6 and 7 for future reference. Okay, so clearly at each point s, the p naught of s and q naught of s must satisfy the differential condition u naught dash of s equal to p naught of s into x naught dash of s plus q naught of s into y naught dash of s, and the PD itself. We have the at the point p naught, f equal to this. So we have at each point s, f of x naught s, y naught s, u naught s, p naught s, q naught s equal to 0. Now this condition is obtained. Actually we have the sixth condition is u naught of s is equal to u naught of x naught of s into comma y naught of s, right? So we have u naught dash of s is nothing but ux naught dash or ux at the point s into x naught dash s plus uy naught s at, into y naught dash s. We have ux is p, that is this is nothing but uh, p naught of s, p naught of s into x naught dash s plus this is uy is q, therefore this is q naught of s into y naught dash s. So we have this condition 6. Okay, so we have the point s, at the point s p naught and q naught must satisfy these two conditions. However the equation 6 and 7 or this system holds at the point s is equal to s naught. By this equation the given condition this, by using this we have the f of p naught equal to 0 and u naught dash at s naught equal to p naught dash of s into x naught dash of s naught plus q naught of s naught into y naught dash of s naught. So at the point s is equal to s naught, that two conditions equation 6 and 7 holds. Okay, by using this, so we have now, we are finding the Jacobian of this system 6 and 7. We have the Jacobian of two differential equations. X dot is equal to or x dash is equal to f of xy, y dot is equal to g of xy. Then for this system the Jacobian of is given by Jacobian is equal to dou f by dou x, dou f by dou y, dou g by or dou y dash by dou x, dou g by dou y. This is Jacobian for this. So corresponding by using this, we can find the Jacobian of this system in the with respect to the variables p naught and q naught. Okay, so now the Jacobian of the system 6 comma 7 uh, with respect to the variables p naught and q naught at s naught. The Jacobian at s naught is given by actually x naught, y naught, is u naught are given numbers conditions. We have to find the conditions p naught and q naught, right? So taking the Jacobian, finding the Jacobian of the system 6 and 7 with respect to the variables p naught and q naught. So we'll get Jacobian at the point s naught. So Jacobian at the point s naught is nothing but given by dou u naught dash divided by dou u naught dash divided by dou p naught. Here the variables are p naught and q naught. Dou u naught dash divided by dou q naught. Dou f by dou p naught. Dou f by dou q naught at s equal to s naught. Okay, so which is equal to here actually the second equation is f equal to 0 at the point x naught, y naught, u naught, etc. Okay, now so we have from this this is the thing, but dou u naught dash divided by dou p naught, the derivative of u naught dash with respect to p naught, it is x naught dash s. Okay, so dou u naught dash divided by dou q naught is this is y naught dash s. So we have the first row x naught dash of s, y naught dash of s, and the second is this is dou f by dou p naught, that is fp at a capital P naught. This is dou f by dou q naught is f small q at a capital P naught, right? So this is nothing but x naught dash of s naught into fq at P naught minus y naught dash of s naught into fp at a capital P naught. So this is not equal to 0 by using the transversality condition. We have the transversality condition which is not equal to 0. So by transversality condition we have this is not equal to 0. So we have the Jacobian of this system with respect to P naught and Q naught is not equal to 0. So by implicit function theorem we can derive P naught and Q naught from these two equations. Okay, so we can use these two equations to find the required initial conditions for P naught and initial conditions for P and Q, that is P naught and Q naught. We can derive this P naught and Q naught from these two equations. Okay, since the Jacobian at the point S naught is not equal to 0. So therefore by implicit function theorem we can derive the required initial conditions for P and Q, that is the initial conditions are P naught and Q naught from the equations or from the system 6 and 7. Okay, that means we have already given for the Cauchy problem we have already given the conditions x naught, y naught and u naught. So to proceed to find the solution of the Cauchy problem, we also we need to find the initial conditions for p and q, that is p naught of s and q naught of s. So that initial conditions p naught of s and q naught of s are obtained by solving these two equations. Okay, this is u naught dash of s is equal to p naught of s into x naught dash of s plus q naught of s into y naught dash of s. We have x naught dash s, y naught dash s. Actually, x naught dash of s is nothing but dx naught divided by ds. We already know the initial condition for x naught, that is x naught of s. So differentiating with respect to s, that will be get x naught dash s, and dy naught dash s is nothing but dy naught divided by ds. Actually, we know y naught is a function of s initial curve, right? So here also we have du naught divided by ds here. So in this equation, p naught and q naught are the unknown functions, and this also from this f is the non-differential equation. Our differential equation is f equal to 0. So applying these initial conditions x naught, y naught, and u naught here, we have p naught and q naught are unknown functions. So we have two equations with the two unknowns, p naught and q naught. So we can derive the initial conditions p naught and q naught from these two equations. Okay, to solve the our Cauchy problem. So we can use these equations to find the solution or the required initial conditions for p and q. So hence the characteristic equation have, now it has a characteristic equation has a full set of initial conditions in a neighborhood of s naught. Hence the characteristic equations star have a full set of initial conditions in a neighborhood of mode s minus s naught less than delta, that is in a neighborhood of s naught. Okay, so we have the full set of initial conditions, that is we have x naught, y naught, u naught, and from these we have p naught and q naught. So we have obtained a full set of initial conditions for the characteristic equations in a neighborhood of s naught. Now we have the characteristic equations. These are a system of first order ODEs. Since this system is well posed, the existence of a unique smooth solution is guaranteed. Well posed means a problem is said to be well posed if the problem, if the three conditions satisfies. First one is existence, that is the problem has a solution, and second one is uniqueness, that is there is no other the solution is unique, and third one is stability of the solution, that is a small change in the equation or in the initial conditions give rise to a small change in the solution. So this is the definition of the well posedness. So a problem is well posed if the problem has a solution, there exists a solution, and the solution is unique, and the solution is stable. So since this unique this characteristic equations or the system of ODEs is well posed, the existence of unique smooth solution is guaranteed. Okay, so we can write, since uh, the system of ODEs star is well posed, the existence of a unique solution, and the solution will be like this: x of p comma s, y of ts, u of ts, q of ts, and sorry, p of ts, q of ts is guaranteed. The solution is guaranteed for t comma s in a neighborhood of 0 comma s naught, that is in a neighborhood of 0 for t and s naught. Okay, that is this solution this solution hash satisfies our PDE f equal to 0 in a neighborhood of 0 comma s naught, right? That is, we have f of x of t comma s, y of ts, u of ts, p of ts, q of ts is equal to 0 for every s minus s naught less than delta and mod t is less than epsilon. That is, for every s in a neighborhood of s naught and for every t in a neighborhood of t equal to 0. This is actually mod t minus 0 is less than epsilon, that is in a neighborhood of t equal to 0 and in a neighborhood of s equal to s naught. So we have proved the unique existence of the unique solution in a parametric form x y u p q of the Cauchy problem. We have proved the existence of the unique solution in a parametric form. And that is the first part of the statement of the theorem. Now we have to prove the second part, that is, we have to prove that this parametric representation of the solution defines a smooth integral u equal to u of xy. That is, we have to convert this t and s into the variables x and y. That is, so that we can express u as a function of x and y as a smooth function integral surface x and y. Okay, as a function of x and y. So that we can discuss in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching.